Hello, hello. Happy Monday, March 2nd, 2026. Yes, I am early. Um, I I have an appointment this afternoon that is going to cut into my streaming time, so I thought I would start early today and at least get something done instead of not doing it at all. I'm not really highly motivated to do much of anything today, so um, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't repairing pens. I do have a couple things to do, of course. Dustin, hello. How are you? The update on the website. Yeah. Okay. So, I didn't get my banners up, in time. I guess I could have done them and hit the 2 o'clock, launch. But there are two notable things, going on this month on the website. Faber-Castell, bottled ink, cartridge ink, Neo Slims, poly fountain pens are now 25% off for the entire month. This is usually the time that the the time that I sell Faber-Castell products is when they authorize a 25% off sale. So all Faber-Castell bottled, cartridge, Neo Slims, and polys in stock are 25% off. The other important announcement for the month of March and going forward, Sailor has what they call now a monthly, nearly monthly anchor drop is what they call it. Similar to their Don't Miss the Boat sale that they used to have in September, which I don't know if I don't know if they had one last year or not. And what they do is they pick one pen that is essentially discontinued, and then they allow the dealers to discount it. What makes this different is that once they have picked the pen, that pen can stay at that discounted rate until you're gone, until the inventory is depleted. And so for this month, it is the 1911 standard in Royal Tangerine. Actually, it's the whole Royal Tangerine family, but obviously I don't have any stock of anything, but what was available was the 1911 standard with 14 karat gold nib in broad and music nib options. So if those are not your preferred nib options, I will say at this price, it's a great option. Those nibs for grinding. If you want to get something ground to who knows what. I mean, it's a little bit beefy on the beefy side if you're going to do like an extra fine. But if you're going to do a medium metallic or something like that, medium stub, you get plenty of room to work with. So those are 40% off. And it's a bright tangerine color. You can't miss it. 1911 standard only. There are no larges. There are no King of Pens. There are no other nibs. There are no extra fines. There are no fines. No medium fines. No mediums. No zooms. Broad and music only. It's all that is available. And so they will be at, I believe the price is $165. Yeah, these days, a gold nib pen at $165. I mean, and to get a Sailor broad, no less. I was actually shocked that they actually still had broad nibs available, because that's really in my personal favorite. Sailor nib is the broad. It's a really great nib. And those have the rhodium trim, the silver colored trim. So, or if it's, you want to swap a nib with something else that you have in that 14 karat that's that smaller size, $165, you can't beat it. You just can't beat it. The cool thing is unlike the September sale, yeah, broad and zoom are fun. This is broad and music though, no zoom. There's no zooms available. The cool thing about this is even once the month is done, because Sailor's got a lot I mean, everybody knows Sailor's got a pen of the. You can't even say pen of the week anymore because they would come out with, 3 times a month they'd come out with 5 pens. So um, the pen, once it's announced for the anchor drop, you can keep it at 40% off until it's gone. So it's never going back up in price. So those are the two big things. They started yesterday, March 1st. The favor sale runs for the entire month of March, and then prices will go back up on April 1st. And the 1911 standard tangerines, I've got a few in stock of each. And there, if I sell out, there's a possibility that there could be more. So, yeah, it's a serious discount. Hello, everybody in YouTube. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you. Russell, Juicy, Gary. Yeah. So, did I field test a Vacuumatic pump? I haven't gotten around to it yet. I actually just contacted my client with the 51 vac that needs a new filling unit. Asked him if he wanted to spend another, some more money on the repair. Because it's going to run, it's going to run up the cost of the repair quite a bit. So we're going to hop right into it, I think, because a couple of these we can kind of hopefully finish up and move aside, because I've got another I got another 4 pens that came in the last couple of days that I need to attend to. So we are going to switch to this. So we're going to assemble these 3 and we can test these. I still have that desk pen that I need to look at. I got a cool pen in today. I got another pen I got to look at. So we're going to just try to finish something up. And this is how it goes when you get somebody who sends in multiple pens. There's always one guy that holds up the whole train. Oh, and Dustin, if you're still there, I don't know if I told you last week. Actually, I sent you an email. Yeah, I already told you. Yeah, the Sailor maintenance kits are coming back in stock. They should be here this Thursday. I think they're coming in. Yeah, I forgot. When it came out of my mouth, there was, oh yeah, that's right. And I'm trying to get, give Lisa everything. Lisa's not really around here much, except for on Fridays and in the evenings, and she handles the books and does some of those things, but she doesn't do any of the shipping or any of the ordering or any of that stuff. So I wanted to make sure I gave her all the information so that she can package and take care of orders and customers and all that stuff. So you have a cart ready to go into. Okay, great. Yeah, so you'll get an email once it comes in stock. Probably not going to be until maybe like Thursday night, unless we're super lucky and it comes during her lunch break on Thursday, which I doubt it will. She'll probably take care of it on she'll take care of it after she gets off of work, which is about 4 o'clock. So, Tasha wraps are waiting. All right. Very good. Okay. Yeah, the Tasha wraps are nice. I've been using mine since we started carrying. I got mine out, and it's been nice to use it again. She does check around in the desk set inventory. Well, I mean, I don't sell a ton of it, but I do sell it, so there's nothing to complain about. As long as it gets out of here, and that is the end goal. My do have to. I really ought to write myself a note. Does anybody got a pen? I don't have a pen. I had a pencil on my bench here for a while. I just remembered. I got to write myself a note. Sorry. I have to remember to look at my. I sort of started a little bit this morning. I have to look at my desk bases to see what pens I need to finish them off. Write a note about making sure you have a pen to write yourself a note. Yes. Boy, that's a tight barrel. Because I've got a lot of really very nice, good looking, highly usable, highly saleable desk bases. But I don't have pens for them. So, or so I think. Oh, shoot. Well, that barrel was more fragile than I thought. Must have shrunk. I'm going to have to look for a new barrel for that. Okay, well, 2 out of 3, I guess. So let's see. I want to try this. I got this desk set we were putting together. Memory serves, we were able to finally get this. Get this working. Do I have everything ready for my trip to the show? Yeah, mostly. I'm almost completely packed. I gotta pack. I think I gotta pack my dress shirts, and I gotta polish my shoes, and that's the extent of it. Everything else is ready to go. I've got a new backpack instead of my briefcase. Measured my carry-on bag to make sure it fits within the dimensions. Got my list. I've had a pile of stuff on my side table for a while. And that's all in my bag. I'm curious how TSA is gonna look at some of that stuff. So nice fine point. Looks good. So we can seal this up and this is ready to go. Hans, good afternoon. How are you, my friend? Sorry to throw you for a loop today. I'm early. I did have to look today to try to find where in my email I had my pass for the show. I wish they would make that available so it would go in like an Apple Wallet or something. Kind of like your plane tickets and all that stuff are, but you're hanging in there. I hope early means it's been a productive day. I hope hanging in there doesn't mean you're not feeling well. Early means I've got a doctor's appointment, and I got a hard stop at like 10 in less than 2 hours. So I wanted to get a couple of these pens off my desk. One just cracked. So that's no good. I did receive an interesting pen in the mail today, but we won't be working on it today. Maybe might work on it Wednesday. We'll see. It needs some serious work and some serious attention. Let's just for fun, let's show it off. This early Edison. It's got some barrel spread. This is probably where there was at some point a price label. Nice imprint. You can even see the trademark in the little scoop underneath there. It's all there. But what I noticed, and this is unusual, I think, in hard rubber, is it's disfigured at the end of the barrel. And this is where the J-bar comes around. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that J-bar, and then we're going to heat this back up. There is a model number on the bottom. Yeah, it can be heated and reshaped. Yep, absolutely. Model number 3A. But the important thing to remember is you have to do it with the J-bar out. You can't do it with the J-bar in, or it will actually get worse. It's got the original nib, which seems okay. In decent shape, but it's really, this is kind of unsightly. So we're gonna take a look at this, and this little bit here. Yeah, to bust out the Dr. G's. This little bit of spread here is concerning as well. I'm more concerned about this. But really nice example. Otherwise, it's all there. It's all there. There's no issues with it. I like them when they're labeled. Labeled on the clip, labeled on the barrel, labeled on the lever. That's what I want to see. You think it needs treatment? I would be nervous about messing with the barrel. Maybe see if you could first safely remove the lever and then heat it to try to get it to return to shape. Yeah, because you're going to have to take this. I'd have to see how this is designed. If this is a simple lever ring, then we're going to be probably okay. We should be able to get this out no problem, because it can't heat this up with that lever ring in place. But I think we'll start to see easily, because this is so squashed that it will go back into shape, I think, and then just let it sit. And it could have been a replacement bar. Yeah, it should have enough memory. It hasn't broken the material or cracked. And I think a little Dr. G's will, and probably what I should do is I should heat it put it in the Dr. G's first. Because then that's going to get rid of any kind of muck and yuck that's inside the barrel. That's going to make it easier to get everything out. But very, very interesting pen, at least to me anyway. All right, let's, where am I at here? So, but I need time to work on that. And the last like couple days, I've had like all sorts of pens show up at the door. Yeah, that's the problem. I might lose a bit of the chasing in the process. Um, what's going to happen is that chasing is going to pop out because I'm going to have to heat it up relatively high. What I probably could do is I could probably cover it in painter's tape and see um, if that helps. I love these relief nibs. They're just so good. You need to get more hard rubber pens. Your 52 is lonely. What you need, Gabriel? Maybe I shouldn't say this. Maybe I shouldn't say this. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me if you don't already know this exists. Um, Here it comes. Uh, Esterbrook made hard rubber desk pens. um, Hard rubber taper with the hard rubber barrel. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Hans wants one too. um, I will tell you. I've seen two in my life. I really don't need one. If you're gonna have something though, like that's the one to have. Yeah, yeah. They made a hard rubber desk pen. Oh, sorry, man. I know. I'm killing you. What does the imprint look like so you can spot it? It has the standard hard rubber imprint. So our Estabrook and Company, and then it has that little squiggle underneath the imprint. So it follows that whole process that all the hard rubber pocket pens have. I would imagine that probably was standard on the Model 1 or the Model 3 desk base. This is not. This pen is not. The write's great. It's not filling at all. Something wrong with the. Heat this one up. I didn't really want to have to open this one up again, but here we go. Yeah, and of course it's pretty long. It might even be longer than your bandless desk pens. It might be slightly longer. It's a beautiful, beautiful pen. But I've only ever seen two in my life. And that for you probably would tick a whole lot of boxes. You hope that Sailor will release a cool piece of anchor-themed ephemera for their anchor drop sale. If they do, please let me know. Maybe an anchor-shaped Sailor logo pen holder? Yeah. Why is this not... I doubt they will, unfortunately. Yeah, I think the coolest thing they ever made was that anchor. The anchor pen holder. It's stupid cool. Why is this not? I think this J bar is too long, actually. I'm just real happy they're finally doing something. To reduce some of this old stock. Make it go away. And then letting the dealers keep it at that price until it's gone. I mean, it's kind of an unfortunate situation if you've had it for a while, and now you're only making $50 on a $170 pen, but you're only making 10 points, but you're getting rid of it. I'm gonna get a different J bar. You have a Platinum Red Ripple and an Eaton wood grain with a lovely gold pattern accommodation clip coming in the mail. We'll make a nice addition to the hard rubber pen collection. Nice. There you go. Gabriel's got a complete set. Bandless desk pens. So then if you just add the hard rubber pen and then the other 6 standard production colors in the R. Esterbrook logo, you'll have all 13 variations of early desk pens. Only. I mean, you got 6 of the hardest 7. All right, let's try this shorter. If this, maybe this nib is jacked up. I really don't want to do this, but I can't figure out why this isn't working. You opened up another balanced pocket pen you have. It has a brass pressure bar. Yeah, that sounds like something one might have. You've been researching Esric models as you have 5 pens without caps, trying to determine the model so I can hunt down caps. The first place to look is the imprint. If it's got the registered trademark symbol on it, it can only be one of 2 caps. Both of which, well, if it were me, I would say it's probably only 1 cap. And it's Esterbrook on the clip. And a round jewel. If it doesn't have the registered trademark symbol, then it can be one of two. It can be one of 2 things. Are there any differences between dollar pen and early transitional barrels that share the R. Esterbrook and Company imprint? Yes. So you look at, I guess, in that case, if you have an R. Esterbrook and Company imprint, the first thing you look at is the lever. If the lever is ribbed, it's a transitional. It's not a dollar pen. It's got that rib up the middle. If it's plain, then it is a dollar pen. Because both obviously are going to have flat barrels. Barrel ends. If the imprint says Esterbrook and doesn't have the registered trademark symbol after it, then it could either be an early 1947 model, which has a round jewel and the imprint on the clip, or it could be earlier round jewel with no imprint on the clip. All right, well, that's not the problem. If it has a trademark, so if it has a groove, it has a rib in the lever, it is not a dollar pen. It's going to have this style cap of some configuration. Likely no imprint on the clip with the round jewel. Usually the early R. Estabrook and Company transitionals have a 3-rib jewel. Although some 3-rib jewels can be found on Estabrook imprints without. Would you know if someone swapped a lever? That would be I guess it's possible. Well, then what I would do is I would look, because a lot of transitionals will have that sack tray in them. So if it has a sack tray and it has a plain lever, the lever's been swapped. They're just not found on dollar pens. You know, the sections are kind of the same. I don't know why this just doesn't agree with me. Yeah, that's better. I don't know what did it, but that was just not good. I mean, swapping the lever would be a lot of work. And Estabrook didn't they didn't sell just the lever, you know. I mean, so it would have had to have been an independent shop that had parts lying around that, you know. I mean, it was pretty easy to get Estabrook parts in the day. And usually what happens is, because there are different pivot points on the levers. Good afternoon, Jason. How are you? Usually you'll find, you know, if they didn't do it right, there's a gap right on this end. Dollar pens always have a plain lever. Always. eBay is the best place to get the caps. Yeah. Or just buy a boatload of pens. Eventually you'll have something with a cracked barrel. Well, this is a nice writing nib. You've got 6 Estabrook pens on the way. One of each color. The problem with the caps are, as some of you are well aware, is that the colors are not necessarily consistent. So you can have a light green, a dark green, an olive green, a light olive green, a dark olive green. And let me remind you that Estabrook called that, all those variations, green. And the patterning too. You know, so it really becomes difficult to match up nicely. You have a green coming on with the green cap darker than the barrel. Well, so here's the other thing. And for the life of me, I can't find it. Hang on. Hello? Oh, okay. Yeah.
We have a bunch of
Okay. Sorry about that. What was I saying? Oh, for the life of me, I can't find it, but I used to have a pen in the box, and it was a green transitional, if memory serves. In the box, including a note. It was a gift from a son to his mother. It's the best note ever. It goes something like something to the effect of "Merry Christmas, Mom. Now you can finally get rid of that terrible pen," or something like that. But the cap is very dark green, and the barrel is this color. So they did come from the factory in not two-tone, but unmatched like that. I gotta find that pen. I don't know what happened to it. I don't think I sold it. You have a third copper bandless Model B in the way. It'll end up being the darkest of the bunch, possibly darker than your double jewel J. That's pretty dark. Yeah, I mean the bandless, some of those that era pens, those are very those can get dark. The blues are dark, the greens are always dark. You're bidding on a Geha 701. I once had I don't forget what the number was, the school filler. SCHULFILLER. Geha school filler. Was a pretty cool pen with a reserve tank on it. That's kind of one of those cool pens I probably shouldn't have sold, but didn't really Didn't really fit in with my collection. All right. Okay, those are good. I'm gonna have to wait on this until I hear back from this. Let me see if I got a barrel for this. Yeah, you like the reserve tank? Yeah, me too. Wow, I don't have a single one of these. Oh my god. I'll send you a picture later, Hans, but you got one of these Craftsman lever fill barrels by chance? In blue? All right, let's see. These off to the side. Bit of a gimmick, but like the song says, you gotta have a gimmick. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's no good. So this guy we repaired and then was working fine. Oh, look at that. Wow. Okay, that's a new one. It was working fine, and then when the client came here to pick it up, I noticed that the section was a little loose. So I said, "Well, why don't I put a little shellac on this section, and we'll seal it up so it doesn't, it's starting to come out." And he emailed me a couple days later and said, "Well, for whatever reason, it's not the button's real loose. It's not working." So okay, that's odd, but maybe when you took it apart, something happened, and it broke. It broke right at the end here. So of course, now I got to open it up. I was hoping it was just a reconfiguration of something, but was not expecting that. And there's the end. Okay. So it is considerably shorter. Actually, what I should do though is before I cut this, I am going to clean this off because we're gonna re-shellac it anyway. Yeah, it's gonna need to be cut. I'm going to cut it a little bit long, and then if we need to, we can file it down. Well, what? You got your first stipula this week? Fingers crossed. I hope it doesn't need any work. Parts are very hard to get. Oh, in ink. Oh, okay. I think the best color was that kind of odd moss green or whatever they called it. You just sold your 15th pet on eBay, Gary? Congratulations. Gotta make you feel good, huh? Oh, yeah, so that should actually be right. A lot of them are cheaper pens, but you have a list of Summit, Metmore, Wyvern, and Parkers. Summits are nice pens. Well, fudge. Sack went bad. This pen's becoming a real pain in my you-know-what. Feed's slipping out. It's actually a little loose. So I think this is going to be the trick here. So what happened is I think the sack got sliced right by the section because the bar went too far in. So we give a little bend at the end so that it runs in and hits the little metal. But yeah, that's not going to work. So you're looking forward to put the money towards a Le Mans 100? Nice. You have part ownership of a racehorse. Wow. If it wins today, you'll get the pen. All right, well. Yeah. Parker Vacuumatic began burping last night. Any suggestions? Is it full? That's the first thing I'd look for. All right. It'll be one of those days. Yeah, if the ink is low, it'll burp. I mean, there's a possibility. You have 7.5%. It only needs to win by a nose. All right, well. All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to put this in the tray since we can't finish this today, which I was really hoping we could. I'm going to keep this for now. There's our new. Great excuse to get some of your fancy inks. Yeah, as long as you don't put most of them in your vac. All right. I need a tray. I'll be right back. Got a 45 desk pen here. I need to clean up. I've got a 51 Flighter. And on the other end of the spectrum, I've got Waterman 452 set. Okay, just Waterman. I was gonna say that you could pick up those Esterbrook CA 101s, but I think I sold all but I think one that I had on the podcast last Friday. You can use a vintage pen with modern inks. That's a really cool idea. You're resacking an Imperial 4 and a fat touchdown with the Greg nib. Thinking about selling them. I bought them and haven't been enamored enough with them to pull them out. Fat touchdowns are cool. I'm not a touchdown guy, except for maybe like, the Triumph all gold filled models. But I like fat touchdowns. They're cool. So this flighter just came in for a little service. I think we're gonna pull off the hood, make sure the collector is clean. It does seem to fill. Yeah, Greg is fine. Yeah. The idea was to write fast. There's no broad Greg. Unfortunately. Okay. This pen's probably it's in decent enough shape, but it's misaligned here on the collector. We can fix that. Complaint on this one was it wasn't writing. Yeah, no, it's sure not gonna. Client dropped the spin off on Friday, and was with this lovely wife, and they told me the story how they got this 452. It's a pansy panel. How they got this set. And then proceeded to tell me they paid what they paid for it. Now, it was 40 years ago, but even 40 years ago, it was a good deal. There we go. That part was soft. The end was not so much. Yeah, this end was brittle as can be, which just goes to show you just because you can lift the lever and it depresses down here doesn't mean it isn't hard as a rock up here. Yeah, you got to try to see if you can find yourself a copy of the Greg Writer. Was a monthly magazine for Greg Shorthand. Often has some really great ads for Esterbrook and Schaefer in them. Schaefer used to have a Greg pen. They're really something. I had some a few years back, but I did find him at my local antique store. Okay. Apparently I have a Esterbrook nib in there. Okay. I got a fun little surprise in store for this guy. Derek just walked in and asked if that's a Yardley pencil. No, this is a Waterman Sterling pencil that goes with the 452. I'm not real good with Waterman pencil numbers, but it's the full size pansy panel. I think one of the prettiest engraved patterns they ever made. Yeah, nice to get them in a set, that's for sure. I remember a couple of years ago, I had my first store was right down the street from the a bank that I did business with, and one of the tellers there came over one day, and she brought in a bunch of pens, and in the batch was a set of. It was a 452 in Gothic, I think. Really good looking set. And it was one of those deals where she had a bunch of stuff, and you knew you had to take everything in order to get the one piece you wanted. So I did buy, like, I don't know, a bunch of no name pencils or really bad pencils, some ballpoints and stuff, and then there was this 452 pen and pencil set. It was kind of funny. That was right before we moved the store. I guess that would have probably been 2003, 2. All right. It's a good thing I'm ending early today because my repair luck is running thin. You try to buy Yardled pencils when you see them at non-collector prices. You just don't want them going to the scrap vulture. Honest question, where the heck do you... I mean, I guess you're in England, so... I mean, like, where the heck do you see a Yardled that's just lying around? They're like one of those pieces that you see it and you know it's a good piece. You know, it's like, you can't always tell a quality fountain pen. But you look at a Yardled and you know there's nothing. Yeah, it's bad enough they're butchering gold nibs. Well, Oh, you see them on eBay. Okay. I was looking at a lot of pens the other day. And at auction. And I was like, oh, this is a great lot. I like all of these pens. I can use these. They're highly saleable. I think we're going to bid on these. And then I got to the last picture. There's not a single nib on any one of the pens. Which is hilarious because the pens in and of themselves, had they had nibs, would have been $200, $150 to $200 pens all day long anywhere with nibs. And they probably got, $40 for the nibs. And then went to go sell them anyway. Like you did twice the work to get almost nothing because they're not going to get anything for the bodies. Never had a Yardled. Maybe someday. All right. Oh, you see them engraved for silver wedding anniversary. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Oh, that's where these went. Is there another one? I was like, what? Where did these 9788 nibs go? There it is. I was thinking the other day, Lisa gives me grief for stuff that I buy, and I'm like, well, no. I can flip these. I can, And then I didn't want to tell her. I promptly lost the two 9788 nibs. You know what I gotta do? I'm running out of time. I'm gonna jump back because I forgot to seal. I'm gonna seal those hoods. So let's do that. Ooh, he sent me a photo. I like photos. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I'm going to be distracted here for a minute. Gray, blue, black. Another gray. And that's another blue, huh? Dark blue. Green, copper, red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 3 different blues, huh? Very nice. Oh, the dark blue one. You know, it's funny because I was looking through. Every once in a while, I watch old podcasts. Just for a number of reasons. Sometimes to remind myself which jokes I told, and to remind myself what we talked about on some of the occasions. Oh. Okay. Nobody's delivering anything here today. Thank you. So apparently both UPS and Amazon couldn't find the warehouse here today. This one actually. But I do remember seeing, as I was going through and watching the episode that had the first batch of Estherbrook death sets, and then there was that blue vanless in there. So I do remember that. Okay, a little bit too hot. All right. All right. Sometimes sealing these up just gives it a little bit extra vacuum. Oh. I'm done for the day. I am, I am, I'm absolutely done. It's a good thing I'm gotta end in a couple minutes anyway. The snorkel tube pulled out of the sack protector bushing. So now that it's all nice and sealed up, I have to open it up. Yeah, that sure does wreck the mood. You know, the funny thing is I got a decent night's sleep, had a good weekend. All right. Well, we're going to spin the positive on this. I don't know. Is there a positive? That's pen? No positive. I got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing. Hey, the 45 looks good though, doesn't it? This is not technically not the right taper for the set that I'm putting it in, but oops, that's not what I meant to do. I really don't think it'll matter that much. I got to be careful. There are some chalk marks on here, but there's just a lot of around that. I like that there were chalk marks on the barrel. You just sent me an email of a Waterman's 52.5B that you did up using the Dr. G products. Ooh, cool. You know, it takes a little work to get that just right, you know, and getting the after you pull it out to get the buff. But I think it does a real nice job. There's a lot of dirt, and that's what this was. So this here was dirt on the barrel. Of course, it's got to be on something that's got chalk marks. Make it. All right, let's see. I have a great base for this one. Nice steel medium nib. Really nice. This one's got a special application, which you will find out on Friday. Oh, wow. Yeah, that looks great. That looks great. Good job. Leave the converter on. Spin this out. And the trumpet even has 45 on there too. Heading off to gym. All right. Take care. See you next time. I think I am going to polish that ball here. I got just enough time to do that. And Man's going to the gym. The man's going to the gym. I get it. As long as I can ask you, what was the new feature of your website, the Sailor Inks or the links to the podcast? The new thing effective yesterday was the Faber-Castell sale, which is 25% off all bottled ink cartridges, the Neo Slim and Poly fountain pens for the remainder of the month of March. So typically that usually only happens, Faber allows a sale in September. Well, actually, that's not true. They allow a sale in November, Black Friday. But sometimes they do it in March. And so for the rest of the month, that's all that stuff is 25% off, which, you know, it doesn't happen only twice a year, if that. So that's kind of nice if you're interested in getting some of their ink at 25% off. And they just raised the price on the ink, so now you can actually get it at a decent price. And the other thing is the Sailor Anchor Drop for the month of March is this 1911 Royal Tangerine, which we have available in 1911 standard only, 14 karat broad and music nibs only. That looks good. 40% off the list price, which makes it $165 for a gold nib Sailor. Now you got to like the Royal Tangerine, but you know, it's not a terrible color if you want something bright and fun. It's a good price. And if you don't like the broad or the music, at least you have something that you can work with if you want to have it ground down to something that you do like. All right, so that desk set is done. I'm not going to show you the base. I may have shown you the base before, but we're going to leave it kind of for a surprise for later in the week. This is probably, we'll test this tomorrow. I got to get cooking here pretty soon. I got a little bit of a drive to everything now is on the wrong side of town from where I used to live. So it always, and then of course I'm working like I'm not even working in Appleton. So I'm like east of Appleton and I got to go to Appleton, which is not a huge deal. People do it every day. But it's, you know, everything is 20 minutes longer than it used to take. I mean, I used to be a half a mile from the store, from either store. I was a half a mile. You know, a half a mile from the grocery store. Surprises are fun. Yeah, you'll like this one. You'll love this. Although you'll be, I mean, unless you're sitting, I do plan on trying to catch the podcast live during the show on Friday. So if you see me sitting out in the lobby or something with my AirPods in, that's probably what I'm doing. Maybe watch it live during the show. Yeah, we could do that. We could sit there and we could create havoc in the chat. Yeah, good luck with the appointment. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Have a great night. We'll talk to you later for sure. Yeah, so my yeah, my daughter's going to be on the podcast with Lisa, so that will be fun. She always brings a little different energy. Well, she brings energy to the podcast, so they'll have fun doing that. But anyway, tomorrow we'll continue on with this flighter. I suppose I ought to take the nib section of that Waterman out. I'm going to do that while I'm thinking about it. And we'll try to get that True Blue put back together. We'll start again on that snorkel, and we'll go from there. So, thanks everyone for early start, early departure. But we'll catch you tomorrow at the regular time. 2:00 should be just fine, and we'll go from there. So, have a great evening, great afternoon, great morning, wherever you are in the world, and be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye now.